There we go. There we go. All right. Okay. Shalom, shalom, one and all. Shalom, shalom. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So, with that, all praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And peace to everyone join us on this program. This is the Fountain of Israel Bible Studies program. And as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Shabbat. I've been saying that for years. You get tongue tied sometimes. But the title of this lesson is Overcome and Endure. Overcome and endure. That's what this is all about. Because we all recognize, the world that we're living in right now. Okay, it's rough. It's challenging for a lot of people. A lot of fear is being put forth out there. A lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. A lot of that is going on right now. A lot of false prophets are coming forth, and they're starting to talk, and they're starting to show their true colors. And a lot of people are waking up and realizing that they really don't have any answers. They don't have anything for one to help themselves deliver themselves. They have nothing. Okay. But although we're living in some uncertain times, some things out there are really worrying many people, and of course there's a wake-up call out there, and we realize just how unprepared we are. That's one thing that this plague has taught us, and that is a lot of people are not prepared. You're not ready. Another thing that it's taught is that how sensitive we are to any little snag in the system, anything that's going to cause us to not be able to get the services and the resources that we need to sustain our lives. All these things are very, very important, and we're realizing just how vulnerable we are when the trucks stop running. Now, with that, I do want you guys to understand that we are not supposed to run around like a bunch of chicken littles, not knowing what to do, not understanding where our salvation comes from, and not understanding how to deliver ourselves. So this lesson is really going to be focusing on delivering ourselves and overcoming and enduring unto the end. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and get into the scriptures, if you don't mind. As a quick sound check, anybody who is listening right now, if you could please just write a 100 in the chat box, just so I know that the volume is okay before we get into today's lesson. So just anybody, just write 100 in there. Awesome. That's great. Okay, so now I know I can be heard. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. Also, like, share, subscribe, put a thumbs up and hit the notification bell, because I don't want you guys to miss any lessons or anything like that. So I thank you guys very, very much. But we're going to go ahead and get into this lesson. It is overcome and endure. Okay, overcome and endure. So let's go first to Revelation 2 and 7. Okay, let's go to the book of Revelation 2 and 7. I'm already at that one. And I want you guys to pay attention. Okay, I want you guys to pay attention to all this. Shalom, shalom, one and all, for listening and tuning in. Okay, let's check this out. Verse 7, 2 and 7 of Revelation. Okay, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. So again, one of the key things I want you guys to pay attention there is that he that has an ear, those who are ready to hear the word of the Most High God. Okay, but as we know, not everyone's ready. Some people blow it off and they suffer for it. So drop down to verse 11. Listen here. It says, he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. He that has an ear, and he that overcometh. Okay, key phrases in there. Okay, very, very key phrases. He that has an ear, and he that overcometh. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to verse 17. Verse 17, let me see. Verse 17, it says, he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written. I mean, it's like symbolizing it's going to be pertinent. That's permanent. That's what it's going to be. Which no man knoweth, saving he that received it. Okay, so it's going to be you. You will know. But again, he that has an ear. What is the primary phrase in there? He that has an ear. Okay, and then obviously what you do if you do have an ear for it, and if you do overcome it, you have to understand. Shalom, shalom. Let's see here. So we have that 17. And I'll greet all you guys here in a second. We're going to get a couple of scriptures out. I'm going to go down to 25, if you will. Let's go to 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Okay, again, a lot of us have been given this new understanding, okay, of the scriptures, right? We come out of the old ways, come out of what we've been taught that was in error, and we come to this truth where we want to dive deeper. We want to get into the word, right? So that what you have, you need to hold fast to that. If you got the truth, you hold fast to that truth, right? So in 25, he said, but that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. This is where that enduring to the end. He said he's coming. He said he's coming. Okay? He said he is coming for his bride. And we have to endure to the end until he comes. Okay? A lot of people just keep giving up. And I think many of us need to be encouraged in times like this, in uncertain times. We got to be encouraged. Okay? That's why I'm having this lesson right now. Endure until the end and overcome, because your faith is going to be tested. Your faith is going to be tested. So let me just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag there. And some of you guys already know that your faith has been tested. It will continue to be tested. How long? Until the end. You have to overcome and endure until the end. Very simple. Let's go to chapter 3. We're in chapter 3 of Revelation. I'm going to start at verse 2. Okay? Verse 2. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. So he said, so watch out. Watch out, okay? Watch out. I see, haven't been perfect before God. So he's saying, watch yourself. Because a lot of us, sometimes we get a little too puffed up, a little too high-minded, thinking that we got it all figured out, thinking that we have the kingdom in the bags, thinking we're just going to just waltz on into the kingdom. No, you have to overcome and endure. Overcome and endure. And that is you're going to hear that a number of times throughout this lesson. Okay? So he said, I haven't quite found it perfect. Let's look at verse 2 again, because we're going to read verse 12 and then 19 through 21. So Revelation 3, 2, verse 2, then 12, and then we're going to skip down to 19 and 21. So he said, 2, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. So we're looking at that. And then we're going to drop down to 12, which reads, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God. Okay, so this is Christ Yeshua talking. Okay, this is Jesus talking. And he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, that's the Father, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. Okay, so it won't be all this arguing and bickering over the name and what's the name. Guess what? In this day, when this happens, you don't have to worry about it. You're not going to have to worry about it. Okay, so that's why I don't fight and bicker about it today, because there's going to be a day where there will be no debating, no fighting, no argument for that at all. But the key to it is we have to overcome. Verse 12, he said, him that overcome. Okay, so drop down to 19, and it says, as many as I love, I rebuke and I chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. And we're going to look at that for a second, okay? When he says, we're going to go to Revelation, we're going to look at those words there, Revelation 3:19. Let me go to my Strongs real quick. Revelation chapter 3, verse 19. Let's go to the Strongs. All right, so he said, I rebuke. Let's look up rebuke. Rebuke is G. This is in the Greek. 1651, rebuke, okay, elinko, all right. It means, and I'll just give you all the definitions there. It says to convict, to refute, to confute, generally with a suggestion of shame of the person convicted. B, by conviction to bring to the light, to expose. Two, to find fault with or to correct by the word, to reprehend severely, to chide, to admonish, to reprove, to call to account, show one his fault, demand an explanation, to chasten, to punish. So this is what he's saying in 19, you know, for as many that I love, he loves, he's going to correct you. He's going to find fault. He's going to reprehend. He's going to chide. He's going to reprove. He's going to do all these things because he's, hey, I do this. I correct you. I correct you. And too many people don't want that correction, right? And he says, and chasten. Let's look up chasten in the Greek, brothers and sisters. Okay? Chasten is 38:11. Okay? 38:11 in the Greek. It says, when you chasten someone, to train a child, to be instructed or taught or learn, to cause one to learn. Chasten, you know, you chastise someone, or they're gonna learn, okay, or at least they should. To chastise or castigate with words. To correct means to correct them, to correct, all right, of those who are molding the character of others by reproof and admonition, right? So this is what it means, okay, of God, to chasten by affliction of evils and calamities. Teach you a lesson, like when God released plagues and things like that. Why? It's to teach them a lesson. It's not to sit back and laugh. Okay, we don't serve a wicked God who sit back with a wicked laugh and throw plagues on you. He's trying to get our attention. Okay, to chasten by the affliction of evils and calamities, to chastise with blows, to scourge. Okay, when you chastise someone, in the last two it says of a father punishing his son. So when a man chastises his son, he is correcting him. This is done out of love. Okay, we're not talking about the abusive kind. We're talking about it's done out of love to set you on the right path. Just like a parent try to set their parents on the right path, so does the Most High God try to set us back on the right path. And the last one, of a judge ordering one to be scourged. Okay, it is to pay a price, to pay a penance, to be corrected, to get set right back on the right path. Okay, so this is what he does. He chastens whom he loves. Therefore, repent, be zealous, therefore, and repent. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Behold, I stand at the door and knock, and if any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him, and I will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne. So do you want to have some authority? Do you want the rewards? Do you want the promises? Do you want the adoption? Do you want all these things? You have to overcome and endure. It's not enough just to come into the knowledge of the truth and then just to walk away. Because we know the epistles say, you know, it's better that you didn't know at all. It's better that you were never born, you know, than to taste his goodness and then to walk away. So that's why I say you have to overcome and you have to endure unto the end. Very, very important, brothers and sisters. Okay, so we're going to continue. Let's continue. All right, so we John 16:33. John 16:33. John 16:33. He says, these things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So none of this is a surprise, okay? It hurts people when they're not prepared. It hurts people more when you're not prepared. You don't know what's going on. You have no leadership. No one's telling you what should be done. You know, no shepherd, things like that. Okay. When you have those kind of things, that's when we get into trouble. That's when bad things happen. Okay. So he said, be of good cheer. Understand when you see these signs unfolding, it's really not time to panic. It's not. It is time for you to buckle down, to listen and absorb, to put your spiritual hat on, to be led by the Holy Spirit. That's what it's time. It's not time to panic. It's time to prepare. Time to gird up your loins and prepare. Keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. Keep that in mind. Let's go to 1 John. 1 John 5, 1 through 5. 1 John 5, 1 through 5. Okay, 1 John 5, 1 through 5. And it reads, whosoever believeth that Jesus is the Christ is born of God, and everyone that loveth him that begat loveth him also that is begotten of him. Okay, so if you come from him, you love him. You come from him, you're going to love everybody else who comes from him. That simple. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. This is how you know. This is the evidence, okay? 3, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Okay? You got to keep his commandments. There's no way of skirting around that. And they're not a big deal. Oh, it is too hard, and he knew that we couldn't do it. So, he sent his son Jesus, and now we don't have to do it. That's not what it says. And by the time you get to 1 John, this is when the Messiah came and left already. And he still said we got to keep his commandments, and they're not grievous. It's not that hard. Don't let someone take it away from you. Don't let someone come in and deceive you like a ravenous wolf. Don't do it. Okay? And verse 4, it said, for whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. If you come from God, if you're born of God, you overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Your faith is what makes you overcome. That's what's going to see you through this thing. This is how you're going to get to the next level. Okay? This is how you make it to the kingdom. That's how it's done. Who is he that overcometh the world, but he that believeth that Jesus is the Son of God? He asks a simple question like that. Do you believe that? Okay, this is part of your faith. This is a faith test, guys. This is a faith test. Okay, he's gonna put something in you, and then it's gonna be tested. People are just not ready for the test. And one way to be ready for the test is to walk in it. Walk in it. Then you'll be ready. But so many people are not going to do it. We're still in 1 John. Let's go 1 John chapter 4, 1 through 4. Let's go to chapter 4, 1 through 4. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit. Let's see here. And this is the spirit of. So, and we are back. Okay, so let's see here in verse 4, and ye are God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. All right, so let's see here. I am going to go to Daniel. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over here just to kind of help you guys, okay, and understand, to kind of strengthen you, to edify you. That's all I want to do. That's my whole job here. So Psalm 46, 1 through 3. 1 through 3. A little bit of a tongue twister right there. Psalm 46, 1 through 3. And it says, God is our refuge and strength, and ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. I told you, this is not the time to panic. Though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waves roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. Okay, all these things, yeah, things are happening. Things are happening. Not time to panic. A lot of things are happening. It is not time to panic. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Okay, it's time to get your head clear so that you can think straight and properly. Proverbs 18 and 10. Proverbs 18 and 10, it says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. The name of Yah is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and are safe. Amen. Okay, so this is what we're talking about here. All right, Nehemiah 8 and 10. Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. Do not grieve, for the joy of Yah is your strength. I just want to give you these little scriptures, these short little nuggets, so they can understand where we're supposed to be. Where should our minds be set? How should we be thinking? How should we be behaving? Because you and I, we're on this track, we're on this road, right? And there's going to be all type of obstacles in the road, okay? There's going to be potholes in the road. There's going to be hurdles in the road. There's going to be little detours in the road. There's going to be all kinds of, and everything swirling around you. There's going to be tornadoes in the road, hurricanes in the road, earthquakes on the path, in that straight gate. There's going to be all those things. So let me talk about some things that may be coming. You experience a pandemic. You're experiencing an economic collapse. Okay? You may experience civil unrest. You're going to experience a complete paradigm shift. And how should you be thinking? How should you be behaving? How should you be behaving? How should you act? What should you be doing right now? Is it time to plan, or is it time to panic? Is it time to be fearful, or is it time to be faithful? It's time to call on the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and prepare yourself so that you may deliver yourself. Isaiah 41 and 10. Isaiah 41 and 10 reads this: So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. We're going to be tested. Something's going to be given to you, and then it's going to be tested just to see if it's in you. Just to see if it's in you. Are you truly righteous? Are you truly going to do what is right regardless of what the world is doing, regardless of what is thrown at you? Are you going to do what's right? Let's look at it over in Daniel, okay? Let's look at it in Daniel 6, okay? You guys know the classic story, so we're going to go on over there right now. Okay, we're going to go to Daniel chapter 6, 1 through 22. Daniel chapter 6, 1 through 22. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first. Okay, so over all the princes, okay, he appointed presidents, and Daniel was first among those presidents, that the princes might give accounts unto them. That's who they report to. And the king should have no damage. Okay, so no harm come to the king, right? And not worried about trivial matters either. Verse 3. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Okay, so Daniel was going to be over everything, second only to the king, right? Second only to the king. Verse 4. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault, forasmuch as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king, and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains, have consulted together to establish a royal statute, and to make a firm decree, that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Okay, of course, what they're doing here is they are stroking the king's ego, right? You can't worship nobody, you can't lift anybody up, just the king, okay, for 30 days, or get tossed in a den of lions. Verse 8, now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now then Daniel knew that the writing was signed. He went into the house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem. That's something, when you see some of us, we play towards the east, is really praying towards Jerusalem. Okay, Daniel's in captivity, and yet he's still praying towards Jerusalem. Okay, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime, like as he always had done, right? Verse 11, then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. You guys see that? You see that? The people, they're assembled. They knew, they watching, they waiting to see him do anything. We're really waiting for him to break this decree, right? Just wanted to get them in trouble and wanted them to get them out of there. Verse 12, then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which alter it not. So a lot of things are going to come before us. Question is, are you going to do it? A lot of people are talking about, oh my goodness, you know, mark of the beast, oh no, cryptocurrencies, and whatever it may be. Are you going to have the strength of character and the faith to resist? That's the question. That's the question. We're going to continue. And then answered the king and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he had heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. So they want to make sure Daniel get punished for this, right? They want to make sure, all right, king, you remember this law, remember what you signed, and you know what this means, you know, and it cannot be undone. You got to do what you got to do, O king. That kind of thing, right? Just pressuring them a little bit. Cannot be changed. Then the king, in 16, and then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God whom thou serve continually will deliver you. So he's going to save you, okay? And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. In 18. Then the king went to his place and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. He could not sleep, guys. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions? So he's asking a question there. And then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God has sent his angel and has shut the lions' mouths, and they have not hurt me. Forasmuch as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. He's just saying, I haven't done any wrong. Any wrong. And the Lord preserved him. He preserved him. Because Daniel was righteous. Because Daniel was worthy. And you and I should be so lucky that when we go through another, and something else is coming. This is not the last. This is not the last of it. That you and I should be so lucky that we can be preserved and delivered out of our time of trouble. That's the kind of faith. Are you going to be able to resist? Are you going to be able to resist unto blood till it costs you your very life? Are you going to resist? And I want to edify, I want to build you up. You guys know the story in the Maccabees with the 7 sons of the woman, and they did not want to eat the pork to save their own lives. And one by one, this young lady, this young mother, had to see all 7 of her sons die because of the Greeks, tortured because they refused to eat unclean meats. The question is, do you have that kind of faith? Do you have the courage of your convictions? Do you have that? That's what we have to do. You and I, we have to build that much courage, that much faith. Can you do it? Go with me to Daniel chapter 3. We're going to look at it one more time with the 3 Hebrew boys. So that's found in Daniel chapter 3, starting at verse 1. Daniel chapter 3, verse 1. Now look at this. You guys know the story, so I won't stop a lot. You guys know the story. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits, and he set it up in the plains of Dura in the province of Babylon. Okay. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, and the judges, and the treasurers, and the counselors, and the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And that's going to come again in the last days, guys. And you're going to have to choose sides. You and I, we're going to have to choose sides. You should be making that decision now to strengthen your conviction. Verse 3, then the princes and the governors and the captains and the judges and the treasurers, the counselors and the sheriffs and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye shall fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And whosoever falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said unto the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso shall fall not down in worship, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Verse 12. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. So they're getting tattletaled on early on. Okay, we're in chapter 3. So getting tattletaled on. Okay, this is just pretty much right after Babylon had taken over Israel. 13. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if you be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye shall fall and worship the image which I have made well. But if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hand? So who's going to save you? What are you going to do? In 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. It's not that hard. I mean, we don't have to think about it and pray about it and have a meeting to figure out if we're gonna have a meeting about it, and I'll text you later and your people call my people. We ain't got to do all that. We can answer you right now, King. We could just tell you right now. All right. And 17. 16 says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. And that's the kind of strength and faith we all need to have. I can marvel at that kind of faith. That's what we need to have. But look what they answered though. See, they're not testing, their God like that. Okay. It's one or two. It's one or the other. And look at what they say in 18. He said, but if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Like, we ain't gonna do it either way. They know the commandment. Thou shalt not have any graven image. Thou shalt not serve another god, and thou shalt not make a graven image. Either way, we're not doing it. He can. We know we serve the God who can deliver us from there. He can. But even if he don't, I'm not worshiping on there. So when it comes upon you and they said, okay, you need to do this or you won't be able to buy or sell. You won't be able to get a paycheck. What are you going to do? 19. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the fiery furnace. So he told them to, hey, throw them in. They not. It's that bad, guys. It's that bad. 21. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That's just tell you how hot it was. It was extreme, right? And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? And they answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. I'll let you meditate on that a little bit. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and kings' counselors, being to gather together, saw these men, upon whose body the fire had no power, nor was a hair on their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who had sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's words and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any God except their own God. How about you, brothers and sisters? How about you? How about you? You're going to get pushed around? You're going to get scared? I can tell you this. I submit to you this. You're going to get tested. And the question is, do you have the courage of your convictions? Because these 3 Jews, they do. They did. And Daniel. He had the courage of his convictions. And the powers that be told them they had to do a certain thing, and they refused. They're like, nope, not doing it. That's not what we're doing. So how strong is your faith? And that's going to determine whether or not you can overcome and endure. That's what's going to determine it. Let's continue. Isaiah 54. Isaiah 54. And when we do Isaiah 54, we want 11 through 17. Isaiah 54, 11 through 17. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest and not comforted. Behold, I will lay my stones with fair colors and lay thy foundations with sapphires. I will make thy windows of agates, and thy gates of carbuncles, and all thy borders of pleasant stones. And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. Ooh, we pray for that day, right? In righteousness shalt thou be established, and thou shalt be far from oppression. For thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. You will not fear, and terror will not come near you. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. When people come against you and they gather together, they will test you. This is pressure. But you have to endure until the end. You overcome and endure. 16, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. 17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, said the Lord. Righteousness is of me, said the Lord. Go with me, because we all go through something. Go with me to Hebrews chapter 11. So we're going to go Hebrews chapter 11, 32 to 40. Hebrews chapter 11, 32 to 40. I want you guys to look at this. 32 to 40. And we know this is the faith chapter. But look at what had to happen though. Okay, we know this is the faith chapter, but look at this. And what shall I say more? For the time would fail me to tell you of Gideon and of Barak and of Samson and of what does that say right there? Jephthah, of David also, and of Samuel and of the prophets, all the things that he said. I don't even have enough time to tell you guys all of these things. Who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions. We know what that's all about, right? Quenched the violence of fire. We know what that is. Escaped the edge of the sword. Out of weakness were made strong. We know what that is. That's like a Samson thing right there. Wax valiant in fight. Turn to flight the armies of the aliens. Women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection. A better resurrection. Interesting. And others had trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, yea, moreover, of the bonds and imprisonment. They were stoned. They were sawn under, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented. All these things, brothers and sisters, all these things happened to all these people. And it's counted that they overcame. It's accounted to them for righteousness and faith. Many of us break down and cry and lose our faith if we miss a meal. Are you kidding me? We're not doing that. We got to get our faith up, brothers and sisters. 38. Of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and in caves of the earth. Okay? You see what's happening here? You see what's happening here? And these all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise. They didn't even get the promise yet, right? God having provided some better things for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. They can't do it. They can't do without us. See, this resurrection is a one-time thing. See, they without us should not be made perfect. That's when you get that new resurrected body, that glorified form, and then access into the kingdom. You know, thy kingdom come, the one that is coming, and access to the city that is coming down, New Jerusalem, descending down in heaven, so that you can walk into paradise. We're all waiting for them. They didn't receive the promise. Not yet. 2 resurrections. And how did they obtain it? Through faith. That's how they got it done. Are we starting to get the picture? We're starting to understand. That's how we got it done. The better resurrection. Look, that they without us should not be made perfect. I hope you guys are understanding. I hope we're starting to get this here. I hope we're starting to get this. I'm still in Hebrews. I'm going to go to chapter 12, right? Hebrews chapter 12. Let me read the first 4. Hebrews chapter 12, 1 through 4. Look at this. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, a lot of people they know of us today, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. That's what I'm saying. We have to endure this whole big awakening. Okay, people are talking about, Israelites and people waking up, and of course there are people coming against Israel, but there's people come into the truth of the scriptures, and so that's why we have so great a cloud of witnesses. But look at what he tells us to do. He said, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, that sets us back, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, because it is a race till the end, and you got to finish this race. You got to keep going. Don't fall. Don't slack. You can get it done, brothers and sisters. It can be done. He did not put something in front of you that cannot be done. You can. You just have to do it. 3. For consider him that endured such contradictions of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your mind. Right here. Right here. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Come on, people. You can't get any more plain than that. What we're going through right now is a light affliction compared to what is to come. And again, no, I'm not here to try to scare you or anything like that. I'm trying to prepare you. Have you resisted unto blood? Have you put your faith on the line? In verse 4, ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. Striving against sin. You know what? I'm gonna go to the scripture that says, let me go to it real quick. I wasn't even gonna have it in this lesson, but I want to look. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it first. Okay, I think it says this, okay? Go to Psalm 116, Psalm 116 and 15. And no, it's not trying to be morbid, because he already knows what he has in store for us. It says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. And a lot of people they can't understand that. It's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Because he already knows what's promised. He already knows what's on the other side. Though the one that has the key to life and death in his hand, he doesn't worry about one of his children dying if you can bring them back. You serve the one of the resurrection. You serve the God of the resurrection, correct? That's why this is precious. And it says of the death of his saints. Why? Those who follow him, believe in him, and those who endured until the end. That is precious. That is precious. That's why it's precious. Oh, they did it. Oh, they ran their race. Oh, they were asked to deny me in front of all these men, and they didn't deny me. Oh, Okay. Oh, they guarded my law in the in the sight of tribulation, persecution. That's enduring to the end. Question is, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Let's continue. James 1, 1 through 3. James chapter 1, first 3 verses. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So he's talking to all of us, right? We're scattered. We're in the land of our captives, right? So he's talking to all of us. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. I told you you're going to be tried. I told you you're going to be tested. Okay? I told you that in this life ye shall have tribulation. That's how it is. That's how it is. I can't sell you this story of rainbows and lollipops and skipping through the tulip fields. I can't do that. In this world, you're gonna have some trouble. There are gonna be some issues in this world. There's gonna be things that are going to try to knock you off course and to take away your faith. That's why in Revelation it says, hold fast to what you have already. Hold fast to it. Let's get a couple more before we go ahead and close out. Romans 3 and 4. Romans 3 and 4. Romans chapter 3, verse 4. God forbid, ye, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy saying, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Okay, so when it when we stand before judgment, you don't want to be found lacking, that you have resisted unto blood, that the saying, he that loseth his life shall find it. Talking about that resurrection. If you lose your life, now of course we can say you will find the resurrection. All right, so we did the first 3 verses of James. Now let's go to Psalm 30. Go with me to Psalm 30. We got a couple more and then we'll be out of here, guys. Psalm 30. Okay, and when we get to Psalm 30, we're going to read 1 through 5. Psalm 30, 1 through 5. Okay. I will extol thee, O Lord, for thou hast lifted me up and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, and I should not go down to the pit. Sing unto the Lord, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth but a moment. In his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. I know you guys probably heard the song in that as well. This is where they get it from. You may go through some things. But thank Yah, you don't have to go through it for nothing. Thank Yah, you don't have to just suffer and then, I could have lived my whole life a different way. I could have just had fun. Well, it's not like that. I got one more place, guys. If you have like any questions or anything, any comments, concerns, anything, go ahead, put it in the comment section real quick. We're going to go to our last place in Revelation. Let me grab something to drink real quick and take these supplements. Go with me to Revelation 21. You have to excuse me. Go with me to Revelation 21, if you will. And we're going to read 7 and 8. Revelation 21, 7 and 8. And it says here, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. Is that what we want, right? This is what we want. If you overcome. Verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable, listen, guys, it's real simple. Don't be these. Don't be like these people. Okay? Don't do that. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and the whoremongers and the sorcerers and the idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And so the secret, guys, is not to be like them. That's the secret. Let me greet some of you guys. I'm gonna go to the comment section real quick, right before we close out. Okay, let me greet you guys here. Rosaline, Santil, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Let me see. Let me get all you guys here. I want to face this way. That way you guys don't have to look at the side of my head, right? So let me just. Okay, Rosaline, Santil, Shabbat Shalom. Anthony Kamande, I hope I said that correctly. Shabbat Shalom. Good to have you guys. Mr. Born Again said, peace, Brother Robert, and everyone's listening. Peace, peace, and Shabbat Shalom, Mr. Born Again. Lynn, Shalom, Shalom to you. Celicia, Elkanah, Shabbat Shalom, sister. Need guidance, Shabbat Shalom, sis. How you doing? And of course, my wife was greeting you guys there. So, Evan Davis, how you doing, brother? You know, Shabbat Shalom, appreciate it. How's it going? Beautifully created by Yah. Shalom, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Lisi, she put up the scriptures for me. I appreciate that. Shabbat Shalom, Lisi. How are you doing? Ms. Ragsdale, long time listener tuning in. Awesome to have you. Awesome to have you. Shabbat Shalom. Okay. Fountain of Life. Fountain of Israel. I like you already. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. How you doing? Okay. By hearing and hearing by, how are you doing? I hope everything is all and well with you. Shabbat Shalom. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Okay. Got some more of the same there. No problem. We got our scriptures there. Is there anybody else? Okay. Nicole Skylar Hawkins. Shabbat Shalom. How are you doing? I hope everything is okay with you and yours. Noe Ben Yasharal, how are you doing, sir? Shabbat Shalom. Okay, the 12 tribes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Shabbat Shalom. How are you doing? How you doing? And by hearing and hearing by, she said, gonna meditate on the better resurrection. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It says, you know, they did all this in faith, and they got a good report, but they hadn't even received the promise yet. I'm sorry, I like to say about 6 or 7 things at one time, and so I'll get tongue-tied sometimes. But they hadn't received it. They haven't received the promise yet. Waiting on us. Okay. Let's see here. We got Fountain of Life. Some more. Lacey putting the scriptures down for you guys in case y'all missed any of them. Say, key to overcome is doing something. Absolutely. Moving and trusting Yah. Yes. Faith is an action word. Big time. Faith is an action word. Moving and trusting Yah. Knows those who fear will be destroyed with idolaters. Exactly. Exactly right. I couldn't have said it better. Okay. Terry Herner. Shabbat Shalom. Terry Herner. Okay. Thank you. Beautifully created by Yah. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really do. I appreciate that. And it says, I've been a Christian for a while. I'm watching and trying my best to get it. I feel tricked What do I do? Oh, Rosaline, you stay tuned. That's what you do. You stay tuned. You know, I understand you've been in error, but you stay tuned. You got to, what happens is that you got to lay down. You have to lay down all the other doctrines. When you know, if you feel like you've been misled, okay, if you're being sincere, you know, right now, I'm just going to take you at your word. Okay, I'm just going to believe you and take you at your words. If you're being sincere, then that is an unction of the Holy Spirit telling you, tapping you on the shoulder, say, hey, something's wrong, something's not right. Okay, that's what's going on there. Okay, so you follow that feeling. And so I ask you, if you've been going to the Sunday church and everything, have they given you the answers to help deliver you? Okay. Yeah, and yeah, the sister Celicia said, yeah, we all inherited lies. Yes, we have. We have inherited lies, a bunch of them. And you can have the Most High, but what you got to do, you got to understand who He really is. All the lies has got to go. It's the same thing in the Matrix. It's red pill or blue pill. Which one are you going to take? Okay, you can go back to sleep, go back to the Sunday church, go back to sleep, and let them give some feel good stories, or you're gonna get the real truth. Okay, get the real honest truth. All right. So if you have other questions or whatever, obviously you can put them here. Or if you have some personal, I want you to put in, let's see here. I'll put it in. You can send an email at inbox. All right. I just put the email address in the inbox just now in case you need it. Um, and that way you can, if you have any questions or anything, you can ask those, and then I can help and guide you. But yeah, the thing is going to the truth. Now, what do you do now? I'm gonna tell you right now so that you feel like you have an answer, right? You say, what do I do? You got to get back to the foundation. You got to get back to the basics. So one, look at the Sabbath. Okay, you can go to this channel, look at the channel dealing with the Sabbath, look at the dietary laws. Okay, look at the feast days, look at those things. All right, to get basic understanding. Okay, because a lot of times it's like, oh, all right, so we have buffering, but that's okay because we're about to end anyway. So it says, the broken and contrite spirit, Yah shall not despise. Absolutely, He catches all your absolutely. That's good edification right there, by hearing and hearing by. That's very, very good edification. So with that, I hope someone been edified by this particular lesson. Hope you guys got those scriptures. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I don't want you to miss any of the lessons. And I want you guys to have a peaceful and restful Shabbat. So until next time, shalom.